Hi Maths Extended. I'm afraid I can't be there with you today, so I thought I'd do a video and try and explain what we're doing. Shortly we're going to be working on algebraic fractions, but it's probably been a while since you've done a lot on fractions, so today the goal is to get really good at doing operations on fractions. Now that doesn't mean surgery, simply that means getting really good at doing addition, subtraction, multiplication and division between two fractions. So here I'm going to start with addition and subtraction. Okay? Now addition and subtraction have two rules. Okay? You can only add or subtract fractions if they have the same denominator. Okay? So for addition and subtraction you must have same denominator. And if you don't, then you've got to make it. So let's start with an example. This is my first one, example 1. Let's say we've got 3/6 and we want to add 1/6. First step is to check, do we have a common denominator? 6 and 6, yes. If that's the case, all we need to do is add the numerator. 3 plus 1 is 4 and continue with the denominator on the bottom. Now that is just adding fractions. If you then wanted to simplify it down, you find what goes in the bottom and what goes in the top, and you can cancel that down to 2/3. I'm not too worried about that at this particular moment in time. Let's look at an example where we don't have a common denominator to start. So let's start with something like this. 2/5 plus 1/2. Now at the moment they've got different denominators, so we have to find the lowest common denominator. Okay, we've got to find something that 5 goes into and that 2 goes into. Alright, and quite quickly we'll go, oh well 5 and 2 both go into 10. So I need to make 2 on 5 into an equivalent fraction. The way I do this is I go, alright, I want this to be over 10. How do I get from 5 to 10? I multiply by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I've got to do to the top. So 2 times 2 will be 4. Okay, my add stays the same. I want this fraction to be over 10 as well. How did I go from 2 to get to 10? I multiplied by 5. So in order to keep it equivalent, I have to times the top by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. So now I've got equivalent fractions with the same denominator. All I need to do is add the numerator. 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 over 10. While you're figuring that out in your head, I'm going to pop up a couple of subtraction examples. Now subtraction works exactly the same as addition. You have to have a same denominator. So let's have a look at 3 on 8, subtract 5 on 16. Oops, this is example 3. Okay, 8 and 16 are not the same. The lowest common denominator is going to be whatever 8 and 16 both go into, which is 16. So let's turn this into an equivalent fraction. 16 down the bottom, 8 to get to 16 times by 2, so times the top by 2. This is already over 16, so that's simple. 6 take 5 is 1 over 16. Not too bad. Lucky last example. 3/4 take 5 on 6. Now, have a little think. We know that 4 and 6 both go into 24, but there is a smaller number, a lower number, which is common, and that would be 12. Okay, so 12 on the bottom. 4 multiplied by 3 equals 12. 3 times 3 is 9. How did I get 6 to be 12? I multiplied by 2, so I times the top by 2. 9 take 10 is -1 over 12. Now it doesn't really matter where you put that negative. You could write it like that. You could write it like this. And that's still the same thing. It doesn't actually matter where that negative is. I'll be back soon, and you can watch my second video on multiplying and dividing fractions.